Hello everybody. Today we will be making a baguette. So this is the recipe. 1.5 tablespoon yeast. I suggest 2 tablespoons if your yeast isn't very active. I think I use 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons honey to replace the sugar because honey tastes better. 3 1/2 to 4 cups all-purpose flour plus more for dusting right over here. 2 teaspoons salt right over here. Canola oil for greasing bowl, but olive oil is better, which is over here. Cornmeal for dusting pan, but why if you have flour? 3 to 4 ice cubes, which we'll be using during the baking time. Okay, so that's the ingredient list. Now let's get the yeast ready. So we need half a cup of warm water. Keyword half and warm. So we have to pour in the yeast, all of it. And then about 2 tablespoons honey. I usually pour in a little more because it makes the yeast rise more. This might take a while. Okay, here, that's about 2 tablespoons. Slightly more. So now all I have to do is mix this up. Keep mixing. So you'll have to wait about 6 to 10 minutes from what I know to wait for the yeast to rise and then get to the 2 cup point. And that's the point when you can mix it with the flour, which you're gonna do next while the yeast is rising. So now we need to mix the flour and the salt together. Okay, why is the salt stuck? Who cares? Okay, so just mix it together with something, and then after you mix it together, then the salt is used to bring out the flavor in baking. A lot of recipes use salt. That's for baking. Okay, so you can see that our yeast has grown so much. It started from about here all the way up here. So you can tell that the yeast is really alive. Also took a time lapse of that. So we just want to pour that in, the whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing. It might take a while for me to do this, but yeah, I'll figure out how to pour this whole thing in. Missing a little bit out isn't bad, just pour as much of the yeast in as possible. Oh, come on. If you need a tool, there we go. Okay, so we need water when we're kneading, so why don't I just add this cup of water into here so we can use it. Whoops. When we're kneading the dough. Oh no. So now we just need to knead the dough. When I take everything else so I can knead it with my hand. Okay. So how do you knead the dough? You just do that kind of motion. But pouring the water in isn't very easy if you have dirty hands, so getting assistance is a pretty good idea, but I'll do it myself. So I'll pour some of the water in now. Dirty. So all you need to do is get a piece of dough and just keep kneading it until it's all of the flour is in one piece. Like this kind of motion, and then when the outside is dry, just rip it apart. And there should be some more wet dough on the inside to stick them in. So you don't need all that much water because there's actually a lot of water in the dough when you're kneading it. So because, look, you're kneading it and all the flour sticks to the outside and the inside is still relatively wet. So you don't need a whole cup of water. You probably only need like half a cup. Maybe not, maybe more. But like, there's actually a lot of water in this piece of dough, but not anymore. So like, you need to pour water in every once in a while so that's going to remain relatively wet, so you can stick more dry flour to the piece of dough that you're working with. And yeah. Okay, I'm done kneading the dough. So I put some olive oil on the bottom so it won't stick. And then now I'm going to put this piece of cloth over it so the dough will remain moist so the yeast can rise. And now I'm just going to leave it here for about 30 minutes and it will double the size. Okay, it had rise over the last 30 minutes. So you can see that green size, maybe not twice as big, but it's still pretty big. So what you need to do is like press it down. So like, because you need to like shape the dough. So you need to like let all the air out. And then I'm gonna take this whole thing out. Oh God. And put it on a floured surface, dusted surface, I think that's what they call it. Then you need to slice this in half. Now, half is ideal for a baguette, but since I don't have that big of a pan, so I have to put it into quarters of, quarter pieces. Also, yeah. After this, we'll have to shape the dough, and yeah. Okay, I'm done with that. So next step, I'm gonna be shaping the dough. So what I'm gonna do is put it down on the floured surface and roll it like that, slightly, like to this shape. And then this is for the quarter size, which is the ones I am making. I'm not sure how to make it the half size. So I'm gonna keep doing that. So you have to find this out and then take one of this like side and then you press it there. No, press hard. That's for the texture of the bread. And keep doing that over and over again. A few more times. And then when you're done, use this side, pull it like that. That side about the same angle, pull like that. And this is kind of pointy, and I'll have to just put it back like that, and that gives the baguette like the end texture. And do the same thing to the other side. And now just do that. And the baguette is pretty much, you can just wait for it to rise. Okay, now that we've done shaping the dough, now we just need to wait for it to rise about 20 minutes. It will be about as big as this, maybe. Not completely sure, so you need to leave some distance between them. And let's just wait 20 minutes. Okay, it's done rising. As you can see, it got a lot bigger. So now I'll put a pan with some ice at the bottom. I think that'll create a burst of steam that makes like the edge like crispy. I don't know, I'm not very sure. But you have to preheat it to 450 degrees, which I didn't yet, and then bake it for 15 to 20 minutes. Now that the bread is baked and cut, now we can try it. I actually tasted already a small piece of it. It tastes pretty good. Oops, too much. Okay, so let's try a piece. Nice.